What you're about to hear are not legends, not creepypastas, and definitely not fiction. Three real people in three different places vanished without warning. One disappeared in a flash of light, another midair in a plane that was never found, and the last was found dead, but no one knows how he got there. They weren't the same when they came back, if they came back at all. These are true cases documented by police, witnessed by friends, and feared by everyone who's heard them. The question isn't what happened to them. The question is, who's next? It started with a storm. October 4th, 2001. Gundia, Queensland. The kind of storm that makes you feel like something is wrong. Rain hammered the windows. Wind howled like it was alive, circling the quiet little home of Amy Rylance. Inside, the lights flickered. Amy was stretched out on the living room couch, half asleep, watching the curtains dance in the wind. Her boyfriend, Keith, was lying down in the bedroom. Their friend, Petra, was in the guest room, flipping through a book she wasn't really reading. Then, at exactly 11:15 p.m., Petra stepped into the living room. What she saw stopped her heart cold. The couch was empty. Amy was gone. The sliding glass door stood wide open. Rain soaked the carpet. And the curtains, they weren't fluttering. They were standing straight up, twisted toward the ceiling like something had pulled them violently. And the air? It wasn't just windy. It was buzzing. A deep, mechanical hum that Petra said didn't sound human. She screamed. Keith came running. And when she told him what she saw, Amy was just taken by a beam of white light. He looked at her like she was insane. Until he saw the room. Until he felt the buzzing. Until he realized that Amy, the woman he loved, had simply disappeared. The police were called. But how do you report something like that? How do you explain someone vanishing without a trace through a wall of light? The officers arrived and did what they could. They looked for signs of a break-in. There were none. No broken locks. No fingerprints. No tracks in the wet grass outside. It was as if Amy had melted into the storm. They labeled it a missing person case. But behind their polite nods, Petra could see it in their eyes. They didn't believe a word. Until the call came in. 90 minutes later, not hours, not days, just 90 minutes after she vanished. A barefoot woman stumbled into a service station in Mackay, over 500 miles away. She was shaking, soaked, blank-eyed. She asked the clerk for help, said her name was Amy Rylance. The police rushed to confirm it. It was her. Same clothes, same woman, still dazed. She couldn't explain how she got there. She had no car, no ID, no memory of the travel. She said only one thing, over and over again. They took me. At first, Amy couldn't speak in full sentences. She kept flinching at shadows, jumping at lights. Eventually, when she calmed down, she described what she saw. When the light filled the room, her body locked up. She couldn't move, couldn't scream. It was like her mind was awake, but her body wasn't hers anymore. Then everything went black. She woke up inside. Something. A room. But not really a room. No corners. No ceiling. Just smooth metallic walls that seemed to breathe. And she wasn't alone. She never used the word alien. She just called them beings. They were pale, tall, thin. They didn't speak, but she could feel them. In her head. They didn't hurt her, but they examined her. Not with tools, with presence. She said it felt like they were reading her. Every thought, every fear, every part of her. Then she blacked out again, and when she woke up, she was lying in tall grass by a highway in McKay. The rain was still falling, the sky still dark, but it was quiet. No cars, no people, just that same buzzing. In the back of her skull, Amy returned home, but something was different. Her eyes didn't focus the same way. She barely spoke, and when she did, her voice was quieter, distant, like she was still in that room. Investigators came. The bushes outside the house were scorched, burned in perfect circles. The curtain edges were melted, as if exposed to high heat. Neighbors reported strange lights in the sky that night. One said it looked like a spotlight, but from nowhere. Another swore he saw something hovering behind the trees. UFO researchers flooded in. But the police? They closed the case. No crime. No suspect. No explanation. And then, a few weeks later, Amy disappeared again. No storm. No light. No buzzing. She just vanished. She changed her name. Left town. Cut all contact. She has never spoken publicly again. Keith never found her. Petra stopped answering interviews. But they both tell the same story. The same haunting details. That night, Amy Rylance was taken by something no one could explain. And when it returned her, it didn't bring back the same person. October 21st, 1978. 6:19 p.m. Frederick Valentik, a 20-year-old pilot, took off from Moorabbin Airport in Victoria, Australia. He was flying a single-engine Cessna 182L. His destination was King Island, a short trip. Clear skies. Routine route. Nothing unusual. He didn't carry any passengers. No cargo. Just himself. But Frederick never made it. No wreckage was ever found. No body. No plane. Only his last radio transmission. And what he said in those final 4 minutes still haunts aviation history. At 7:06 p.m., Frederick radioed Melbourne Flight Service. He was 4,200 feet in the air. He sounded calm, professional, until his voice changed. He said there was something flying above him. An aircraft with 4 bright lights. It was moving fast. Too fast. He said it was orbiting him. Hovering. Chasing. He was scared now. His voice cracking. He said it wasn't a plane. He said, "It's not an aircraft." He described the object. Shiny. Metallic. Reflective like glass. Shaped like a disc. Then silence. A few seconds later, he came back. His voice was shaking. He said his engine was rough. Something was interfering. The aircraft, if it even was one, was directly above him. And then he said it. It's hovering. And it's not an aircraft. At exactly 7:12 p.m., Melbourne Flight Service asked him to confirm again. Frederick started to reply, but his words were cut off. The radio crackled with a strange sound. Not static, not interference, but a metallic screeching, like a machine grinding into itself, like something from deep underwater, like a transmission from another world. That sound lasted 17 seconds. Then everything went dead. His plane disappeared from radar. No mayday, no impact, no crash site, just that sound, and then silence, forever. Rescue teams searched the ocean for days. No wreckage, no oil spill, not even a broken wing tip, nothing. Frederick's family said he had long believed in UFOs. He once told his father, "If a UFO ever tries to take me, I'll go with it." People dismissed it. They called him a dreamer, or worse, crazy. But those 4 minutes of audio, that metallic noise, that final panic in his voice, it wasn't a joke. It wasn't fantasy. Even military radar confirmed there was something else in the sky with him that night. Something they never identified. To this day, Frederick Valentik is missing. The case remains open. No official explanation has ever been given. But those who listened to the last recording agree on one thing. He saw something. It was real. And it took him. June 6, 1980. Tingley, West Yorkshire. Zygmunt Adamski left home to run errands. He was a 56-year-old coal miner. Quiet. Dependable. Just a normal man. He walked out of his front door in the middle of the day. He was supposed to visit the market. Maybe grab a few groceries. But Zygmunt never came back. No one saw him leave town. No witnesses. No unusual behavior. He simply disappeared, like the air swallowed him whole. His wife reported him missing. Police searched. No leads. No sightings. It was as if the earth had opened and taken him. 5 days later, June 11th, Todmorden, nearly 20 miles away. A train conductor was preparing his route. He climbed to the top of a coal yard and froze. Lying face up on a coal pile was a man's body, eyes wide open, skin pale, arms frozen in place. It was Zygmunt Adamski. But here's where things got strange. There were no signs he climbed up there himself. No coal dust on his clothes. No footprints on the pile. No struggle. He had been placed there. Almost. Gently. Zygmunt's body had burns on his neck, shoulders, and back. But not burns like from fire. They were precise. Circular. Almost surgical. And they were covered with a strange green ointment. No one could identify it. Not the coroner. Not doctors. Not chemists. The burns weren't healing naturally, but they weren't infected either. It was as if something had been experimenting on him. And here's the worst part. He hadn't been dead for 5 days. He had been dead for less than 24 hours. So where was he for the first 4 days? Who kept him alive? And why did they let him die now? The officer who found the body was P.C. Allen Godfrey. He didn't like what he saw. None of it made sense. A few months later, Godfrey himself experienced something terrifying. He was driving his patrol car when a blinding light blocked the road. His radio cut out. His watch stopped. He lost 15 minutes of time. When he came to, his car had moved, and a circular burn appeared on his foot. He believed Zygmunt Adamski's death wasn't just strange. It was connected. But when he tried to speak up, he was shut down. His reports were edited. His credibility was questioned. Eventually, he was forced off the police force. Years later, he confessed publicly, "I know what I saw, and I know what they covered up." Zygmunt's body was taken, tampered with, and dumped like a warning. Some say aliens. Some say secret military experiments. Some say both. But no one ever found out who took Zygmunt Adamski. Or why. Because whoever did it never wanted him found alive.